Well, you were referring that, well, because of, due to lack of sleep and touring, that you feel like a zombie a little bit. What was the influence of the impact of the zombies on this album?
Well, it's more like I love the songs, of course. Great writers, you know, and I love his vocals, Colin Blunstone. But there's a lot of things about the especially Odyssey and Oracle album that inspired me, and it was the experimentation with the sounds and kind of phasings and use of mellotron and the experimentation of making simple pop songs into something bigger. Obviously, we don't write simple pop songs for the most part, but as production features, it really inspired us to just experiment.
It's something of the last couple of years, because I read somewhere the Zombies and the Hollies. Is it something of the last couple of years, or is it that, well, you always have listened to, and maybe now for this album it
No, that's the thing with the Zombies, completely knocked me out, you know, a few years ago. I never, you know, I've been a collector for a long time, but never paid any attention to the Zombies for some reason. And I got the album, put it in my iPod and went for a walk and listened to it, and just like, wow, every song was like, wow, how could I miss this? And I feel enlightened. I mean, I feel like it should be part of common knowledge, like everyone should have that album. The world would be a better place if everyone had that album. You know?
How come that it isn't that well known, do you think?
I don't know, because they weren't really a big band. They had a few hits, She's Not There, and Time of the Season, I guess, the most well-known songs, but they split up before the second album came out, and Rod Argent formed Argent, and Colin went on to solo. Well, I don't know what the other guys did, you know, but so they weren't like well-known, but it's basically, I think that album is on par with the best Beatles stuff.
Which is for you the best Beatles stuff?
Well, everything from Revolver, Magical Mystery Tour, White Album, of course, Sgt. Pepper.
No, sometimes people say
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road, yeah. Yeah, but sometimes people say, well, Sgt. Pepper was because of the time, but if you actually look at the songs, then maybe the songs on Revolver are maybe even better. I don't know what.
Well, it's all a matter of taste, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, Revolver has Tomorrow Never Knows, which I think is one of the if not the ultimate kind of psychedelic pop song.
Yeah.
And it's a milestone in terms of everything. And with that song, I think, started the whole psychedelic movement and the progressive rock movement in a way. It's a very simple song. It just goes in one key all the way through, same drum beats, but the loops and the tapes and the phasings and whatever just make it into a timeless masterpiece.
And that's, well, I spoke to a DJ a few months ago, and he said, well, sometimes I close my set with that song, and people come to me and say, what's that song? They think it's completely new. But
Yeah.
it still has that
Yeah,
well,
it's timeless.
Yeah.
That's a very good kind of, that's a compliment to that song and to the band, you know.
Yeah.
It is timeless.
You were saying, well, the Zombies. Can you say how the influences came into the album? Is it something that you do well with knowledge before, or is it something that when you write a song that you say afterwards, hey, maybe this was the influence, or is it?
Well, it was the only thing I listened to, really. That album, on repeat. You know, the metal, you know, I have a lot of metal influence, but I don't really need to listen to metal anymore to write metal parts, you know what I mean? I'm more likely to come up with something heavy listening to, say, the Zombies. than listening to a metal band. So it can work in weird ways. What I listen to might be completely different to what I'm writing, but I can't trace it back to anything else because that's the only thing I listen to,